Hi, it's Chris, and welcome to the Colecovision High Score Throwdown. This episode, we're looking at Exidy's Venture from 1981. Venture was a Colecovision launch title in 1982 and was ported by Rick Lay for Coleco. In Venture, you play as intrepid dungeon explorer with a smiley face, Winky. Armed only with a trusty bow, Winky explores 3 different dungeon levels featuring 12 different rooms loaded with traps and monsters. Roaming the dungeon are the horrifying hall monsters that will chase you into a room if you're taking too much time fighting monsters or getting treasure. When Winky completes a level, the points Winky earned for the level are multiplied by the bonus multiplier visible at the top center of the screen. The longer Winky takes, the lower the score multiplier for a level. Scores for killing monsters and picking up treasures go up with every level. Starting with monsters worth 100 points and treasure worth 200 points in level 1, and maxing out on level 9 with monsters worth 900 points and treasure worth 1800 points. A new Winky is awarded every 20,000 points. Skill levels only seem to affect monster speed and aggression, as well as the base time before a hall monster enters a room. Skill level 3 is considered to be arcade difficulty. Skill level 3 is being used for the Colecovision High Score Throwdown ending on August 22nd. So what do we think of Exidy's Venture on the Colecovision? Venture is a solid launch title. It has reliable gameplay as you move Winky around the dungeon, firing as you go. It has simple but effective graphics and a nice use of music and sound throughout the game. If there's one issue players have with Venture, it has to be the control. Before we talk about a stock Colecovision and Super Action controller experience, players need to know a little about the original arcade game. Venture in the arcades had a different control scheme, and the use of the joystick was not clean by any stretch of the imagination. Getting Winky to move diagonally in the arcade was difficult due to how the joystick was implemented. That design has been carried over to the Colecovision port. There rarely is a smooth transition in direction change with the character, and getting used to that clunky movement is one of the things I believe that makes Venture challenging to play. It is challenging on a stock controller, but I think it feels a little better on a Super Action controller. The Super Action controller isn't necessarily performing better than a stock controller, but that joystick feels better on this particular game and does make it feel quite like the arcade experience. For a modern gamer, the game can feel you are fighting the controls more than the monsters. Collision detection on monsters is a little iffy, and it can be frustrating that only one arrow can be in flight at a time. That arrow limitation makes aiming very important in Venture. Tied to the control issues, it makes for a very challenging game. I first played Venture in the arcades back in the 80s and thought it was pretty cool, but hard to control. It disappeared pretty quickly. I next played it on the 2600, and that port by Coleco is also pretty solid. The ColecoVision version, with clean graphics, great sound, and more levels, is a game that keeps calling you back. It is definitely a fun time and deserves to be in everyone's ColecoVision library. Venture gets a solid B+. So grab your copy, turn on your ColecoVision, Phoenix, Flashback, or even an emulator, and go on a deep dungeon adventure. Until next time, game on!